My goal was focused on the student experience. I was curious about their perspective, maybe things they hadn't told me, but things that students would tell each other or those outside our school about how they actually felt here at MATC. So that was my goal. The surprise was, while I was expecting a thorough analysis of our services and my program, I didn't realize they would be providing feedback about the student experience campus wide, not only working within our department and the Disability Resource Services office, but NDC visited with other departments across campus, and that was a pleasant surprise.
When you decided to partner with NDC, what goals did you have in mind? And during the process, was there anything that was a surprise to you?
From a leadership perspective, my goals when we embarked on this process were a couple of things. The first is I wanted to be sure that we could identify and celebrate our success in a way that was vulnerable enough to look at where we could improve, even in those areas that we had historically believed we were successful. I wanted us to have an opportunity as a team to sort of confront our implicit bias, if you will, that we were supported by, highly supported by leadership and highly effective in the services we provide to our students and our community. And I wanted to confront that in a way that allowed a wonderful set of experts to come in and to help us establish how we could confront those pieces and how we could move forward. Madison Area Technical College has always been incredibly supportive of our work and the work and the great platform we have in working with the deaf community. And the opportunity to have national experts come in and provide us with a chance to have objective and thorough, granular analysis from multiple perspectives and multiple rotations, if you will, of that perspective, provided me a chance to communicate to leadership, not only the great work we've done and how we've carried it on, but how we are taking our role to get better very seriously. And with the backing of an organization like NDC, it made that conversation even more rich. And we look forward to the pieces of improvement that were identified and that we've worked on and accomplished and will continue to add to as we move forward. In terms of, I believe that we had a couple of really great sort of synergistic surprises. And what I mean by that is as we got feedback about issues like how our guests and how the public facing part of our services for the deaf community had a few gaps, to be honest. So we were able to identify those gaps and work with community partners, including our events managers, including leadership at a level that was high enough that they could get information out to units that hold events to make sure that we are being as transparent and as proactive and as accessible as possible with our communication about requesting sign language interpreting or captioning based resources of any kind. And we also learned a lot from the work we did with public safety, and that was a surprise. That we had some opportunities for growth, but also to echo what Jana said, the great support we got from all of our campus partners, many of whom had never really intersected with the idea of serving deaf community on our campus in a way that was more than just hearing about something in a meeting. For them to have the opportunity to jump in and really be a part of that work and identify individuals on their teams to be part of that work was really powerful and further, I think, added to the benefit of our experience. Specifically, the on-site technical assistance provided us several in-depth snapshots, both of perspective of the work we do based off of interviews with staff, based off of sort of exploring what a day in the life might be for an individual who who's deaf, who is coming to our campus and being a part of our community. And that was really, really powerful because it gave us a lens through which we had not had access before to see how we were serving our communities. In addition to that, some of the feedback we got just from members of the on-site committee, kind of free-ranging, if you will, around campus and just accessing various services and checking on sort of how services or questions about interpreting or any questions about accommodations or deaf student or guest related needs gave us, I think, a viewpoint that we didn't have access to before and allowed us to address some things quickly. And that was just kind of one of those small nuggets of like additional value that the team provided when they came and visited with us. But truly, from a 50,000 foot down view, the ability to have a set of national experts, individuals that are truly at the top of their field as related to their expertise and their ability to consult and ask the right questions that I wasn't even aware that we should be asking in some ways, were asked to us. And it really put us in a position to address topics that we hadn't thought of before. So that was incredibly valuable.
Saving time was so important. I had goals, I had many goals, but NDC helped me prioritize those goals and then know where to start putting them into action. For example, NDC suggested we create a standardized tagline to be used on our campus promotions. The tagline would be used to prompt requests for accommodations. We hadn't had that, but NDC provided examples from other colleges and universities, and we were able to pull from those ideas, brainstorm, and create our own tagline that is now used across campus. That was one fantastic opportunity. Another example was when any problems would arise and I wasn't sure about my next steps, NDC became my go-to resource. They provided detailed responses that allowed me to feel comfortable and empowered in my decision-making. It was so nice to have the support from such a responsive team so that I didn't feel like I was in this alone. Another example was a deaf student who wanted to study abroad. I was in full support of that idea and wanted to provide the support services to allow for that, but I didn't know if our administrators would approve the funding needed. So I reached out to NDC to ask for support, and wow, I got a detailed report sharing what other campuses had done and their experiences. NDC put together a report that I was able to share with my administrators. And of course, I had great support from Scott and the other leaders here at the school, but NDC provided that empowerment so that it's not just me asking the administration and telling them what I think is the right thing to do, but a national center backing my recommendations. I truly appreciated that.